Hey all, I'm Anita here from United Kingdom. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna paint Magnolia in a wine glass with an apple. When I saw the still life photography of this painting, I thought it will be difficult for me to paint. But as it goes and I started, it was quite easy for me to do. I'm going to take you through the tutorial and will give you the tips and all the techniques which I have used to make it more easy for you. The canvas which I am using is 8 by 8 inches, and the first thing I did was sketching of all the objects in the right direction. You don't need to be doing exactly the way you say. If you are trying a still life first time, I would suggest just place the object as you wish randomly. The most important is understand the composition of each object and then shading. The first thing I painted was the background. I used grey and white. I added little bit of blue with the grey to give a darker shade where I would like to project the shadow of the objects which I have created. Then I moved to paint the petals. If you see, I have created 3 shades of pink. One is dark, light and the lighter one. I used white and cadmium red to create these shades. First, I have painted all the petals with the lighter shade. I would like this to get dried. I have chosen this painting today because I felt it is difficult and I always wanted to take challenges. But when I started, it was really easy for me to do because you need to just work out the composition and dimensions before you start painting. To paint apple, I have used yellow ochre and cadmium red. I painted the apple using ochre yellow all the sides and gave white as an highlight on the top corners where I would like to show the lights, and used a little bit of red to give the shades over there. Here I have used a 0 size brush to give the details. And while making these details, I have to ensure that where I am moving my brush, because it has to flow with the object. Most importantly, I have to also ensure that where I am going to use the light colors and dark colors, as where the light flows, it will be more lighter than the opposite side of that object. For highlight, I have used white. And also where I would like to show more light, I have used white and light yellow. To add a tiny stem on top of apple, I used cadmium red and blue, and I created a brown color. And to highlight the top of those stems, I just used a 0 number brush and highlighted it with the white. I moved on to paint my wine glass. I used grey and blue to give the base for this wine glass. Now I'm using a zero size brush and I used a grey color to show the water level. Using the same brush, I made water bubbles, which was a real great detail and highlight, which is quite easy to do it. There is no big technique behind this, it's just a common sense. When we look at an object from far, we can make out as to what are the details which are quite easy for us to give, and we should ensure that we are not missing them to make our art look more clean. As I go, I use the grey color to highlight the bottom part of the glass. Using red cadmium and blue, I created brown color. Using that, I drawn all the stems of the flower and I used white to highlight that to give the shades where it is lighter. And I used sap green to give the baseline for the bud. Now here is the best part which I started is painting the flower petals. I'm using titanium white to highlight the flowers, and this will also help me to differentiate each petal. I have started using the cadmium red, the darker shade, on top of the light pink color which I have already done. Here I need to be very careful about the blending part, which is quite easy if you practice once or twice. So I have ensured that I blend them nicely so that there is no difference between the cadmium red and white. For blending I have used the white color. Here you got to be really observing the real picture or the reference picture which you are using to make any art. That will help you to really understand the dimensions and the shades of the flowers or any object which you are drawing. And yeah, don't think too much, just give a try and see how it comes. As it is an acrylic color, you have always an option to make corrections. So make use of this and ensure that you give a try again and again. You don't need to be perfect on the first go. You need to observe the object which you are going to paint and then slowly do one by one. And slowly work out on your brush strokes because it has to move with the object you have sketched. Practicing strokes will always help you to improve on your dimensions when you paint them. As you can see that I'm not trying to make it as a super clean and realistic. I'm just going with the flow of my work. I just want it to look as I want it to be looked. So it's just that how much you are confident to give a try on anything. Always take a step back and look the object from little far which you have painted. This will help you to do corrections. You may be interested in going through my playlist where I have also posted a lot of tutorials in terms of relaxing art therapies and also tutorials for kids. Those are structured artworks and some unique artworks on pebbles and glass paintings. Now we are at the end of our session and I would like to add more detail to my artwork. We can also leave our art up to this level. It is only up to you. I would love to add more details as this helps me to learn more. Hope you would have liked this tutorial and it would have been a useful session for you. So thank you once again to stay with us. I would like to thank the photographer Ilona here who has spared her photo for my painting. So I am winding up with this. If you have any details to be asked or anything would you like to know more about this art, please do drop in the comment box. I'll surely reply to you. So keep loving and keep sharing. Until then, bye.